belief in India that being infertile is always the woman's fault. The men are infallible, and so women beg and plead, shave their heads, starve, roll on the ground and tie their prayers in red threads of mauli that droop forlornly around the walls of shrines. These millions of women have no choice. Luckily, I do. Unlike them, I can forego the pleasure of a fertility rite. But even for me, spiritual intervention is sought from every quarter. I know that my mother goes to the local gurdwara every day to ask the priest to say a special ardas for me. Her faith sometimes makes me wonder if one day all those unanswered prayers will be delivered to the right postal address, and by return mail a man will be dropped onto my obdurate head. Meanwhile, I am quite content being plain Simran Singh, a middle-aged, meddlesome social worker and premenopausal single parent to a teenager. Why I adopted Durga is a long story. Perhaps the urge for motherhood is not something we are born with, but is a desire that can ambush you at any moment. I know that Durga adopted me probably a little earlier than I adopted her. I was the first person she ever cried in front of when I met her in jail in Jalandhar after she had been falsely accused of being a murderess. It takes courage to cry in front of a total stranger. Certainly, I have never been able to do it. I had felt a visceral connection with her, an impulse to look after her, to make her happy. I wanted to compensate her for all that had been snatched so cruelly away from her in her childhood. We grew to understand each other better and better as I slowly pieced together her tragic circumstances. After her release, I formally adopted her so that she could shut the door on those terrible memories of her past. Or so I hoped. After long months of unease and suffering, just recently life has fallen into a quiet rhythm, with Durga, my mother, and I sharing our evenings watching light-hearted movies and television, laughing over news. Politicians usually provide the maximum merriment, and about our own, thankfully uneventful, lives. Our conversation is mundane, about the woman across the street who wanted directions to the local metro, or about the teacher who decided to make Durga's class enact a scene from Othello and wanted her to play Desdemona, or what to cook for lunch the next day. Occasionally, during a perfectly normal exchange, I still suddenly panic and watch Durga's face for any hint of tension. But even if troubled, she's beginning to put the trauma behind her. Luckily, in her Delhi school, very few people know about Durga's previous life. It is a very small and exclusive private institution, not one I would normally put a child into, but a perfect place to provide security. Around dinner time each night, Durga's sister Sharda is brought downstairs by her carer to join us. She is staying with us for as long as possible, in the hope that her condition will eventually improve. Her entry is always slow and reticent, her footsteps on the staircase almost inaudible, and it's always the encouraging, subdued voice of her carer that we hear at first. With her prematurely white hair in a neat plait, her face pale and still gaunt from the horrors of her own experience, she always stood at the edge of our group indecisively for a few moments, her unfocused eyes groping to recognize us. This is the moment when we plunge into an awkward silence, aware once again of the cruel journey which has brought us all together. Ironically, Sharda is luckier than Durga in that her memory of the past has been wiped away by the electric shocks she was given in the asylum. Perhaps, as she begins to trust us, she will be able to start completely afresh. That is something my teenage daughter will never be able to do. A household with 4 women, all in various shades of disrepair. Durga, a damaged teenager, my mother, a widow in her 60s, and I, a cantankerous spinster in my 40s. While Sharda, well, it is impossible to say what age Sharda is now. I still hope she will wake from her nightmare one day and let us know how old she really feels. She is fragile far beyond her natural years. Yet the drugs soothe her restlessness, and she is gradually beginning to react to the world around her. Our home might look odd to the outsider, but for me, feet on the sofa, surrounded by my family, my glass of whiskey in one hand, a cigarette in the other, life could not be better.